Meifumado. This game has a parry, so it makes it into parry review. I've mentioned before, but it's worth mentioning again, that I have 2D games and 3D games, and also isometric games on completely different metrics, because in 3D games and isometric games, you have to avoid attacks in multiple planes, like north, south, east, west, and then southeast, southwest, etc. Multiple directions, right? Here in 2D games, there's just left and right, and sometimes up and down, but it's much more one-dimensional than in 3D games or isometric ones. So for a 2D game, I will say right now that Meifumado gets a good score. However, in the grand scheme of things, right, compared to the gigantic library of games that exist nowadays, Meifumado's pretty... it's okay. For a 2D game, it's actually really good. So let's get into it. You block at the last second, that's how you parry. In this case, this enemy is a boss, and you have to parry him like 12 times in a row in order to break his posture. And I think you will successfully one-shot him. You just kill him in one shot once you finally whittle down his posture to the very low end of his bar. This guy takes 2 parries. In 2 parries, and then you one-shot him. This guy, I never actually managed to parry him. I just deflect all of his projectiles, and then I directly attack his health bar. And then the most scrub and basic enemies, you just have to parry them once and you kill them in one shot. So you just one-shot all the basic enemies in this game, and that's pretty fun. What sucks about this game, though, is the movement. You know, your movement is very limited. So as far as you creating distance in order to better parry, that's not gonna happen here. Here you just you gotta steel yourself and just perfectly press the block button each time. Is the game fun? Yes, the game is fun, but only for a while. After you play this game for like 30 minutes or maybe an hour, you're kinda... maybe you're not at the end of the game and you haven't passed it yet, but like mentally you're like kinda done with the game. And that's not to say this game sucks. Normally, under normal circumstances, I would pass this game fully from beginning to end, but I have Night Rain installed in my computer. I'm gonna go back to playing Night Rain. So maybe as a gamer, you might think, right, as someone who's watching this video, well, no, you should give the game a chance and you should finish it. I would under normal circumstances, but think about what it says about a game. That as soon as there's something slightly better, you just move on. That means that that game isn't necessarily bad, but it's also not well-rounded. That's what that means. That is what that piece of information betrays. If you're playing a game, and as soon as a better game comes out, you immediately switch to the newer and better game, that means that that game that you abandoned, it was just a rebound. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't like a... And again, I don't mean to say that this game sucks. This game is good. The problem is that it's 2D. So immediately, it gets out-competed by 3D games. Right? There's no competition. That's the reason why I never fully passed Death's Gambit Afterlife. I've never actually passed that game because it's 2D, and after a while, you just move on to a 3D game. And that's not to say that 2D games suck, because Deviator is a game that I passed twice. I mean, it's early access, but I passed it twice. So clearly, some 2D games are better than others. But for the most part, almost every 3D game is better than its 2D counterpart. On the parry metric, I'll give this game a 7, but on the fun and enjoyment scale, let's give it a 6 because I'm feeling generous. So thanks for watching, take care, and enjoy.